Hello friends, Haley from the future here, currently sitting somewhere that you will know the details of very soon, in my next vlog actually. I wanted to go back and post this video that I filmed around mid-June where I show you my entire physical TBR. But before we hop into that, I do briefly want to give a big thank you to today's sponsor. Now I have talked about Ana Luisa many times on my channel, sponsored or not sponsored, I love their stuff. I would say about 90% of my jewelry collection at this point is from Ana Luisa. And everything that I am wearing today is from Ana Luisa except for my engagement ring. Ana Luisa offers dainty, everyday pieces that are water resistant, tarnish proof, and made to move with you. And that they did. I'm quite a lazy girl, and one of my favorite things is knowing that I can get in the shower or get in the pool with my jewelry and it's not going to be ruined. I have damaged many cheap anklets in my teenage years by accidentally showering with them, but those days are over. For example, my J initial bracelet is an everyday piece of mine that I have not taken off in, I want to say, probably 6 months. After 6 months of straight use, I still think it looks amazing. I'd say the only real difference is that the gold color has kind of faded over time and has turned into this beautiful white gold instead of this vibrant yellow gold like it was before. But I'm all for mixing metals, so I don't even mind. For my bigger pieces, like my necklaces, I do tend to follow the care instructions very strictly, so I will take them off if I'm gonna get in the shower or into like chlorine water, and I try to clean them more regularly. Whereas my J bracelet, I have just put it on and forgotten about it. I do nothing to take care of this bad boy and it still looks amazing. The piece that I've had the longest from Ana Luisa is probably this ring. Josh got this for me for Christmas in 2023. I wear it several times a week and it still looks just as good as the day that he gave it to me. Definitely check out Ana Luisa. I will put the link in the description box below. And I want to thank them again for sponsoring this portion of the video. Now without further ado, let's talk about my physical TBR. Hello my virtual besties, welcome back to my vlog channel. It's your girl HALEYJEAN, and today we are back for one last video in front of these bookshelves. At least these bookshelves, the way that they are, the way that they've been set up, because we are finally moving to Oregon. But I wanted to film our moving process. Obviously, I'm going to be doing moving vlogs. Today's video specifically, we're essentially going to be going shelf by shelf, and I'm going to try and show you all of the books that I have read versus unread on my shelves. And hopefully by the end of this, I will have counted and we will have an official number of all the books that are on my physical TBR. And while we do that, I'm going to be taking the books off of these shelves to pack up in these huge big crates that we will be moving to our new place. I will be keeping these bookshelves and I will be putting them up in my office in our new spot. Definitely stay tuned for another bookshelf organization video, but I just wanted to give one last moment for the book nook that I've had here in Salt Lake City. It has been lovely. I've read many things right here. Here's an overview of what she looks like. I do have a full book nook tour that is posted here on my channel that you can check out if you want an in-depth tour of my bookshelves. But this has been my book nook for the past like year and a half. Now let's go through all these shelves and we'll go one by one and I will let you know which ones are unread. I'm not gonna lie, this process is probably gonna take me several days, so if my appearance changes throughout this video, that is why. I don't mind having a decent chunk of a physical TBR. If I read a book and it's like a 2 or 3 star read, chances are I unhaul it. So you'll notice that a lot of the books that are read on my shelves are higher ratings. I'm gonna start over here with my romance shelf and then we'll move on to my fantasy and then over to my nonfiction and poetry at the end. But I think we should start, first things first, with my TBR cart because naturally all the books on that are unread. Okay, here is my TBR cart. I don't remember where I got this one. I did like that it had this little drawer right here because this is where I store all my reading tabs and my annotation supplies that I use. I also have a phone charger, any sort of supplies that I might need while I'm reading. But then every book on this cart is unread, and most of these books were on my 25 books that I want to read in 2025 list. So let's go through them. Here on the top, we have The Curse Workers by Holly Black. This is a 3-book bind-up that a subscriber sent me, and I cannot wait to pick this up. Obviously, Holly Black is one of my all-time favorite authors. Then we have a classic that I've been meaning to get to for a long time, Wuthering Heights. These Penguin Deluxe editions are my absolute favorite. I love the illustrations, so I do own quite a few of those. We have 2 unread Ali Hazelwood books, The Lightning Thief, Madeline Miller's Circe. Cannot wait to pick this up. I feel like this is going to be a 5-star prediction. We have Crying in H Mart, which is a nonfiction. Lolita, another classic that I have not read. I just want to form my own opinion on it. I feel like we're seeing a lot of people kind of romanticize this book, and I would like to read it and form my own view. We also have Slaughterhouse-Five, another classic that I have not read yet. The Four, this is a dark academia book that sounds really, really interesting. Dark Places, the only Gillian Flynn book that I have not read yet. I'm saving it for a rainy day, but I cannot wait to pick this up. And then we have 2 classics that were actually recommended by a subscriber. We have The Awakening by Kate Chopin and Lady Susan by Jane Austen. And then we have Ace of Spades. This is a young adult thriller suspense kind of story. It sounds amazing. A small town romance called For the Hope of It All by Isla Sikorsky, very much Taylor Swift inspired. And the last thing on this shelf is another classic. We have The Bell Jar by Sylvia Plath. And that puts us at 16 books on the TBR so far. Let's move down to our final shelf down here. We've got a thriller by Lisa Jewell, Dark Matter by Blake Crouch. I still need to read Beautiful World, Where Are You? And then we have Ready or Not. This is a surprise pregnancy romance that I got from Book of the Month. And then we have For Her Consideration. This is a sapphic romance that I got in Aardvark book subscription. And the last book on the cart is Educated by Tara Westover. This is a memoir that's been on my TBR for so long. Another 5-star prediction. So that brings us to a total of 23 books on the TBR cart. And now we can move over and talk about the shelves. Okay, moving along to the first shelf. This is my rainbow romance shelf, and we will begin here at the top. I've read everything in this first stack except for All In by Emma Scott. This is the second book in the Full Tilt duet. I really enjoyed Full Tilt, the first book. I gave it 4 stars, made me cry. I just need to finish it out with the second book. Then we have the Addicted Calloway Sisters series. I have read all but 1. I have not read the epilogue novel, Some Kind of Perfect. I am waiting for my bestie Mana to catch up, and we are going to read this together, and I'm so excited. But everything else I have completed. Then over here we start the actual just like rainbow section. I have read all of the Hannah Grace books. Read that. I have not read Long Shot. I have not read Cleopatra and Frankenstein or Bringing Down the Duke. I've read that, have not read Red, White, and Royal Blue. I feel like I'm probably the last person on earth. I haven't even seen the TV show. I've been holding off until I read the book, so just haven't been feeling like a political romance much lately. I have not read Begin Again or Holding the Reins by Paisley Hope. A subscriber sent me this. I love this cover so much. I have read Night Shift. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 books on this shelf. Now let's move down to the second shelf. I'm gonna start over here with the red and the pink books. Have not read Nanny for the Neighbors, have not read The Devil in Blue Jeans, The Happily Ever After playlist, have not read yours truly, I have read Just for the Summer, I have read Savor It, I have not read The Nanny, have not read Hush Hush, have not read Hate Mail. I have not read Before I Let Go. I really want to. Have not read Behind the Scenes. Take a Hint. This was sent by a subscriber. Really excited about this. I have read The 7-Year Slip. I have read Lights Out. I have not read The Bodyguard. Love in Other Words. I actually have another edition of this that you'll see later on my shelves. And I have not read Spanish Love Deception or Our Scorching Summer. So quite a few unread so far. Then over here, we have Out on a Limb, which I have read. Part of Your World, I have not read. Do I Know You, have not read. Blindside, have not read. Tangled Up in You, this is a signed edition, but I have not read that either. I have read Archer's Voice. I really enjoyed this. It's like a 4-star. Have not read The Wallflower. This is another probably smut edition. Have not read Alone with You in the Ether, Runaway Love, but I have read Out of the Woods, and I have not read this series, The Rebel Blue Ranch. Very excited to start it. That means we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23. That brings us to 23 unread books on this shelf. Starting over here with the blue books, I have not read It Happened One Summer, Keep Her Safe, Just My Type. Read that. I've not read Faking with Benefits, Breakaway, Consider Me, Delilah Green, or Alive and Wells. So actually the only 2 books on this shelf that I have read are 7 Days in June, which is a 5-star, and we have this gorgeous copy of Heartless, which I've also read and is another 5-star. So love these 2, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 that I haven't read there. I have not read In Good Company or Crossroads. These are special editions that I got from Probably Smut that are really, really beautiful. I've read The Soulmate Equation, have not read Camera Shy. I've read Punk 57 and Credence, have not read Tristix Venom. These 2 books are the Sugarland Creek books by Brooke Montgomery. I have not read these yet, but I cannot wait to. I also absolutely love the way they look. The spines are so beautiful. I have not read Colty by Mariana Zapata. I have read the entire Mindfuck series. This is like 5 books in one big omnibus. I have read the Dare and the Losers series, but I have not read this trilogy by Harley LaRue. Very excited. Paranormal Romance, Demons. Definitely want to read this sometime, maybe this fall. Have not read Black Sunshine. That's a vampire romance I recently bought. Leave Me Behind, I recently got in a subscription. Haven't read that. And I have read Hooked, Sinner. I have not read Mercy, and I have not read Pestilence. Then we have my cute little Sunny Angel peeking through my plant. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. That leaves us with 22 unread books on this shelf. Moving down to my series shelf, most of these are read. I have read all of these Elsie Silver books. I'm completely caught up on her backlist. That feels amazing. I have not read these 3 books in the B.K. Borison series. These are the like seasonal books that she came out with. The only one I've read is Love Light Farms, so I still need to read these 3. I got these gorgeous editions from Afterlight. I pre-ordered the box set without having read them, just because they are seriously that beautiful. I love looking at these. I have read every single book in the Windy City series by Liz Tomford. So this shelf, probably one of the easiest ones yet. We only have 3 books unread. And then we'll move down to my general fiction / lit fic shelf. I feel like this is gonna be a mix of like 50-50, read and unread. Please ignore how dusty my shelves are. I have not dusted them, but I will dust them once I take all the books off. Let's start with this stack right here. The only book I've actually read in this entire stack is Yellowface. It's a 5-star read. Absolutely adore this book. If I read a book and it's like a 2 or 3-star read, chances are I unhaul it. So you'll notice that a lot of the books that are read on my shelves are higher ratings, because eventually in the long term, I'd like my library to be full of 4 and 5-star reads. But anyway, I have not read A Little Life, Blue Sisters, Vladimir, Vanishing Half, Tomorrow, or Severance. I have been debating unhauling A Little Life. I know that there are a few of you who are writers for this book and really want me to read it, but the more I learn my taste as a reader, I just don't feel like this is a book I'm going to enjoy, given the subject matter. I don't know. Let me know what you think. But have not read On Earth We're Briefly Gorgeous, A Certain Hunger, My Year of Rest and Relaxation, Beartown, My Sister the Serial Killer, The Stationery Shop, After I Do, I Want to Die But I Want to Eat Tteokbokki, Sex and Rage, No Longer Human, The Perfect Couple, A Novel Obsession, or On the Island. So those are the ones that I have not read. I have read Open Water, Play It As It Lays, The Idea of You, Song of Achilles, Malibu Rising, One True Loves, It Ends and It Starts With Us, Acts of Desperation, and If Cats Disappeared from the World. So probably about 50-50 with these books, with a total of 19 read books on this shelf. And that brings us to the final section of this bookshelf. These are my classics and historicals. I only have 2 historicals. I've read one. I have not read the other. This one was a 5-star. Any Duchess Will Do. Highly recommend. That is what prompted me to buy Someone to Watch Over Me by Lisa Kleypas. I'm not gonna lie. This definitely was a cover buy. And the step back is absolutely fucking gorgeous. Like, bring this back. Bring this back in romance. This is gorge, but I have not read this yet. And then from here over, we just have classics. Again, a lot of my classics that I want to read are on my TBR cart, so we already went over them, but there are a few here that I haven't read. We have Trainspotting, The Unabridged Journals of Sylvia Plath and Jane Eyre. I've read all the rest of those. I have not read Rumblefish or The Year of Magical Thinking by Joan Didion. I feel like this book is gonna fuck me up, so I keep putting it off. I have not read Pride and Prejudice. I know, I feel like that's a sin as a romance reader, but I have not done it. I've not read Beloved or Their Eyes Were Watching God. I've read Little Women, read The Book Thief, DNF'd The Book Thief, actually, controversially, but soft DNF. One day I will reread this. Have read the Edgar Allan Poe, and of course I've read The Great Gatsby and Wicked. So, how many is that? We have 1, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 books on this shelf. Not too shabby. All right, that is the first shelf completed. Now let's move over and talk about my fantasy shelf. Most of it is fantasy, and then down here at the bottom, we do have some subscription box books and my thrillers. So, starting back up at the top, I have not read Six of Kings or Crooked Kingdom. I know, nail me to the cross. I don't know how. I have not managed to read this yet, but I've started Six of Crows like 3 different times, and I just never feel like I'm in the mood. So one day I will read these, and I do think I'm gonna love them. I have read Vicious and Vengeful. Love Vicious. It's a 5-star read. Vengeful, I think you can skip. I've not read the Poppy Word trilogy. Very excited a subscriber sent me this. Same with the Raven Boys. I've read the first book, but I have not read the other 3. I thought it was fun, but I wasn't running to start the second book. I have read the first 2 books in the Legendborn series. Still need to read Oathbound. I have read all 3 of the Infernal Devices by Cassandra Clare. This was my first ever Cassandra Clare series. Clockwork Angel, Clockwork Prince, and Clockwork Princess. Loved it. And then I went out and I bought the Chain of Gold, Chain of Iron, Chain of Thorns. This follows their children, but I have not read these yet. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12 on this shelf. Moving down here, we have more fantasy. I honestly feel like with this shelf, it might be easier to tell you what I have read. So, have not read Throne of the Fallen, have not read Babel, have not read Mistborn, have not read The Invisible Life, have not read These Violent Delights or Red Rising. I have not read Heartless Hunter or A Kingdom of Stars and Shadows. I did read Legends and Lattes, yay! I have not read Daughter of No Worlds, or The Secret We Share, or The Atlas Six, or Masters of Death, or, this is actually just getting embarrassing. Okay, haven't read any of these. Really excited to try Belladonna and Foxglove. I have read these 3. This is the Marionettes series. I finished that. Have not read Fear the Flames, but honestly, I might unhaul because they've republished it and they cut out a lot of the indie version, so I don't know if I will end up reading that, but that gives 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 20 unread on this shelf. Okay, moving down over here, I have read most of these. I've read these. I've read these 3. I have not read In the Lives of Puppets or All Better Now. Have not read A Starlit Secret to a Sensational Afterlife or Peachy or The Wrath and the Dawn. I did read An Ember in the Ashes. I have not read the Dance of Thieves duology. I have read the first 2 books in the Scythe. I still need to read The Toll. I have read the Shepherd King duology. I love these books. One of my fantasy favorites. I have read Ninth House. I loved it. I also read Hellbent. Didn't love it as much. I have not read The Witch Who Trades with Death. This is a new purchase that I bought recently. I have read Quicksilver. I have read these 2 Ice Planet Barbarian books. I started Filthy Rich Vampire, but I have not finished it. Same with Dawn of Onyx. Have not read Night Circus. Have not read Damsel, or These Hollow Vows, or Half a Soul, or Sorcery of Thorns, or Graceling, or Iron Widow, or Prison. So actually this whole shelf from Filthy Rich Vampire down is unread, but I have read Quicksilver. So 19 books on this shelf. Okay, then down here, this is like my current reads shelf. So on the left, we have my TBR for the month that I have not read yet. And then on the right, we have recently read books. So obviously all of these have been read. And then these are the ones that I have not read yet. We have Feybound, which I'm actually halfway through right now, so I'm not going to count this. These 3 I have not read. I have this arc that I got from Bloom, but that's pretty much it for this shelf. Now we can move down to my special editions. These are all of my unread special edition book box books. So we have some Fairy Loot, Illumicrate, some Book of the Month, we have some Afterlight, a bunch of romance. These were in a BookTube box that I got, but yeah, these are all just like special editions. Most of them have gorgeous sprayed edges and art prints. There's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 romances. We've got a thriller from Book of the Month, and then we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 fantasies. So 23 unread books on this shelf. Whew, I do be buying a lot of books. All right, moving down, this is my thriller shelf here at the bottom. Out of these 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 hardcovers right here, I have only read the reappearance of Rachel Price, and I really enjoyed it. But I have not read the rest of these. I have read all of these Gillian Flynn right here. I've read Verity. I have not read Mother Thing, My Heart is a Chainsaw, The List, If We Were Villains. I did start Pet Sematary. I DNF'd Pet Sematary, but maybe one day I'll go back to it. I've not read Murder in the Family. I have read The Teacher. I've read The Housemaid. I have not read Wrong Place, Wrong Time, Then She Was Gone. I have read both of these books in The Good Girl's Guide to Murder. I also have the first one, but I lended it out to my sibling. I have not read Enchanted Hill. I have not read One of Us is Dead or The Final Girl Support Group. I have read Southern Book Club's Guide to Slaying Vampires. This was my first ever Grady Hendrix book, and I loved it. And then I bought a bunch of his other ones that I have not read yet. And then we have 5 Survive. So I think this is the only Holly Jackson book that I have not read yet. So 18 unread thrillers. All right, let's talk about this shelf on the very end. This has been my like series slash author shelf, but I think once we move, this shelf is actually going to be used for storage in the living room. So I don't think this particular little cubed bookshelf will be part of my bookshelves in the next place. But for one last overview at it, most of these books are all read. Up top here we have my Holly Black collection. I've read all of The Cruel Prince. I've read The Coldest Girl, King of Elfhame, Stolen Heir, and Book of Night. The only one I have not read from this stack is The Darkest Part of the Forest. And then moving down, we have Sally Rooney. Again, the only one I have not read is Beautiful World, Where Are You? But I finished everything else. I did start Intermezzo, I DNF'd it, so technically I haven't finished it. And then we have Emily Henry. I have read all of these. I could do a full ranking if you're interested. Book Lovers is without a doubt my favorite, and I think Great Big Beautiful Life is probably my least favorite. And then we have my Trigger Warning SJM collection. I know, very controversial author. I have read both of these series. The only series I have not read is Crescent City, and now, honestly, I have no idea when I'm going to be doing that. But the last 2 cubbies down here, one is empty, and then the other one just has my manga and graphic novels. I have not read Semantic Error or Tied to You. Those 2 were sent to me by publishers, though, so I'm not really going to include them as part of my physical TBR. But yeah, that is everything on this shelf, and honestly, we only have 1 unread book, unless you want to count my second copy of Beautiful World, but I'm not going to. So 1 unread book on that. Okay, now let's go over my little secondary shelf that I have over by the TV. This has my poetry, my nonfiction, my young adult, like middle school reads, and then children's books. So these are just genres that I don't pick up as often. So most of these books are going to be read, so I feel like we can honestly speed run this section. The top shelf is poetry, which is all pretty much read, except for Mary Oliver Devotions, the Louise Gluck collection, and What the Living Do by Mary Howe. So 3 books on this shelf. Then moving down to my nonfiction shelf, again, most of these I've read. I have not read Everything I Know About Love. I've not read On Writing. I've not read Bossy Pants or The Silent Woman. So that's 4 right there. Read all of these. I have not read Butts. My fiance has, funnily enough. Or When Breath Becomes Air, Understanding Power, and The Creative Act. So that's what? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. 8 books on this shelf that are unread. Then moving down to my middle school YA nostalgia shelf. Again, most of these are going to be read. All of these in the back. We bought the Twilight collection back there, which I've obviously read. In fact, the only 3 books that I have not read are these 3 right here. We have The Inheritance Games by Jennifer Lynn Barnes, Girl, and Better Than the Movies. So those are the 3 that I have not read. And then for the final shelf, these are our children's books, and I think I've read all of these. So that is everything for this shelf. Now I'm going to take all these down and put them in a box. Okay, it is the next day, and I have officially finished going through and counting all of the physical books on my TBR. I've begun actually, and I've began packing and putting these away, as you can tell from the top of the shelf. And the results are in. I officially have
194 books
on my physical TBR. Honestly, not that bad. I know 200 sounds like a lot, but for someone that I don't mind having a decent chunk of a physical TBR. I've also been doing a lot better this year at reading from my physical TBR, so it's slowly dwindling. I try to read as much as I buy nowadays, but yeah. 194 books on my physical TBR. Probably about 400 books total, just on my shelves in general, but I would say about half of them are unread. And that's pretty much it. For this video, I'm gonna go continue packing and getting everything ready for our move, so make sure to like, subscribe, and stay tuned for that if you want to see that journey. But yes, those are all the books on my physical TBR. I hope you enjoyed this little video. Thank you so much for clicking, and I'll see you when I see you. Bye.